What up, party people? What up, party people? It's your boy Neek here, me in the movies at the Edwards, Ontario 22. Here to check out a flick. Treats on deck. Check. And we at third 16. About to check out my man Jacob Lattimore, I believe that's his name, and Sleight. It's young urban superhero drama about a kid who has some abilities and he's passing it off as just, contemporary magic, but it's actually an even more enhanced ability. So about to check out my man Jacob in the Sleight, black superhero film on a low-key level, an urban setting. Let's go check it out, y'all. Unfortunately, we're dealing with my pet peeve right now here at the Edwards, Ontario 22. Going to see a movie and they don't got the poster for it. Yo, Theater 16, Sleight. Let's go check it out, y'all. And here we go. Sleight. There you go. Sleight was slightly disappointing. It was slightly disappointing because this was a movie that should have definitely been a TV series. This should have been a series like I don't know what. And I fault the director and the writer, who is also the writer. The director is also the writer along with somebody else. But the movie was structured so, so kind of like amateurish, because it couldn't tell a constrained 2-hour movie. You got to structure the story and the story points that services a movie. Everything you saw was like kind of lazily drawn out as if you're watching episodes of a show. And it definitely would have worked out better as a TV show because, man, the action didn't get into gear until the very last act. I mean, to the very last moments of the act. Further thoughts, y'all, further thoughts. Yeah, so slightly disappointing. We're at the AMC because the AMC got the poster right now, but unfortunately, Sleight was slightly disappointing. What bothered me was, a few things that bothered me was the, number one was the goonery, the not so intimidating goonery. Man, when I thought this was a urban superhero drama. What it actually is a North Hollywood superhero drama, because, man, I mean, this was like no urban setting. I mean, it was urban setting technically, but man, was this kind of like some non-ghetto. This was like, man, if you live in Southern California, this was some North Hollywood situation, yo. North Hollywood drug dealers, not no hood madness at all. Definitely not no hoodness. So I would have to say, and Dule Hill as the lead kind of gangster cat, fitting for a North Hollywood setting, but hood, not quite. He was, I don't know, just not my type of hood hype, not my type of gangster. But like I said earlier, the story was the plot was just painstakingly drawn out in a pedestrian fashion. I mean, they didn't even mystify you with enough magic throughout the film to really keep you drawn in. It was just a young man that was kind of caught up in a situation, that he should have been able to get himself out of, but was just too kind of like, I don't know. But the thing is, my man Jacob Lattimore right here, he did turn out a good performance. It's just the script didn't call for him to do much of anything. Met a nice young lady, tried to get that blossoming, and his street dealings were kind of interfering. He just couldn't be upfront enough with her to let him know what he was into, because she was cool with it, because she was dealing with the situations of her own. The writing kind of came off like some cats who didn't necessarily grow up in the hood. But then again, I may be very wrong. You know, this definitely should have been a TV series. It should have been a TV series because of the pacing of the story. If the pacing wasn't so pedestrian, it would have been a cool film, but the climax was very lackluster. The dialogue was very uninteresting and not gripping at all. This was the most PG-13 rated R movie I've ever seen, yo. I mean, for this movie to be rated R, I'm like, why? There was no sex, there was no cursing really. A couple in graphic moments, maybe, but Sleight was slightly disappointing, yo. It could have definitely been better, and this would have been a hit on Netflix or Hulu or something like that if it was a TV series, but as a film, it's just gonna get forgotten. And for it to be kind of like saying that it's like the best black superhero, no, this is terrible. It's not terrible, but it's just very weak, very weak. Yeah, so, and they didn't do enough explaining about how his powers came to be. And when they did explain it, it wasn't gripping enough again. I mean, it just wasn't what I thought it'd be, y'all. Sleight was slightly disappointing, and that's unfortunate. Nice, nice. Sorry, I'm looking at something here at the mall. So, unfortunately, y'all wait for this for VOD and Netflix and all that stuff. It's definitely not worth going to the theater and checking out and paying for popcorn and a soda and a date, possibly. Sleight was slightly disappointing, y'all. Unfortunately, I got to give it one of these. So, it's your boy Neek here, me in the movies, and we're going to catch y'all next time. I just saw Sleight.